We are going to get started with a little meditation. I like to have a seat and settle into our breath. So go ahead and you can sit just directly on the mat, or you can find a block or a pillow to sit on. We'll just do a little bit of breath work while we settle in. And again, if you want blocks or a strap, you're welcome to them, but they are not absolutely needed. After class, I will pop up here as well. So if you guys have questions, you can pop them in the chat and I will answer them at the end. All right, go ahead. Let's get a block or just sit directly onto your mat. And let's begin to settle into our space. As we have a seat here, sit up nice and tall through the spine. Legs can be crossed. As you're sitting up here, your palms can rest on your thighs. Facing down is grounded and getting centered in your space. If your palms are facing up, think of getting energized and revived. I tend to just let my hands go, and how they land is what my body's calling for the day. Gently close your eyes. And anytime we're in this seated position, let's be aware in our body. So we don't want to be slouching forward or letting the shoulders roll forward. Sit up and back, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Let go of tension you might be holding in your body. Get out any wiggles. And as your eyes are gently closed, do a little scan of your face and notice if you're clenching your jaw, if you're scrunching your eyes tightly. Let all that release. Maybe you're pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth or the back of your teeth, letting your tongue rest in your mouth. Scanning down through the body, through the shoulders, they drop down. Pulling your navel in towards your spine so you sit up nice and tall. Palms are relaxed. And as you're sitting up nice and tall, think of the top of your head pulling toward the ceiling as your tailbone towards your mat. One long line through your spine, from the neck to your tailbone. Anchoring into our breath, which is a great place to be if you travel off during class or during any kind of meditation. Bringing yourself to your breath is a great way to anchor back in and get present. So together, let's release all the air out of our body. Release anything stale, anything old. Seal your lips and begin to inhale through your nose. As you inhale, fill up the chest, the belly, feel expansion in the body. Bring that fresh air in, holding it at the top. Open the mouth, exhale, release, let go. Let's do that again. Seal the lips. Begin to inhale through the nose. Feel the chest expand, the diaphragm drops down, the belly expands. Sip in just a little more air, fill all the way to the top. And when you're ready, open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Good. Breathing normally. Settling into our space, we're anchored in, we're present, we're ready for practice. Bring your hands to heart center. Setting intention for your practice. Maybe you have your own intention. Or you can do mine, which is to be open-minded, present, and aware of what's going on in your body and letting go of what's not serving you in the mind. You can gently open up the eyes, open the hands up, bring them by your side. Take a big inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Drop the shoulders down. On the exhale, twist open to the right. Right arm's going behind you. Left hand's coming to the top of the left thigh. Your gaze is back over the back shoulder. Feel a nice midline twist. Good. Twisting just a little deeper. On your next inhale, come back to center. Hands up overhead. Exhale, twist open to your left. Left arm goes back. Right arm to the top of your left thigh. Gaze can go over the back left shoulder. Twisting, twisting. As we twist, try and keep your glutes on your mat. So we don't want them lifting as you twist. Keep the glutes down, twist open. Inhale, come back through center, back to the other side. Exhale, twist open. We're going to speed up just a little on this round. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist to your left, left arm behind. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the right, gaining a little momentum. Inhale through center, palms overhead. Exhale, twist left. One more each side. Inhale, up overhead, shoulders are dropping down. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center, hold here. Exhale, hands to heart. Go ahead and bring yourself forward to all fours. If you have a block or anything you're sitting on, you can move that to the side. As we're in all fours, make sure our hands are underneath the shoulders so your elbows are stacked directly and the hips over the knees. You can keep your toes tucked or tops of the feet on the mat. When we're in this neutral spine, our tailbone is tucking under slightly as our navel pulls to the spine. Shoulders are down and back, gaze is down to protect the neck. Moving into cat-cow on the next inhale, drop the belly down, gaze goes up, point the tailbone to the sky. Cow pose here. Stay here for just a moment as your gaze is up. On the exhale, arch the spine, press away from your mat, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, cow pose, gaze goes up. Exhale, cat pose, tuck the tailbone, pull the navel to spine, press away. Inhale, gaze up. Continue at your own pace. You can go faster or slower, exhaling every arch. And inhaling every time you gaze up, like I said, at your own pace. Do about 3 more breaths here. Just getting awareness and awakening in the spine, making space in the body. This should feel good. Find that one last breath. And once you're through that, meet me in your stable position, right in the center here. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to arch left to right, so some lateral stretches. So think of pulling your left shoulder to your left hip and left hip to left shoulder. Inhale, come to center, right hip, right shoulder on your exhale. Inhale, other side. Exhale, just kind of like you're wagging your tail. Go back and forth, whatever pace works. Anytime we're crunching together, we always exhale. And anytime we come apart, we're inhaling. Do 2 or 3 more here. Getting lateral mobility in your spine. Good, 1 more each side. Good, and pause. Go ahead and keep your toes tucked underneath you and sit your hips back to the toes. We tend to forget our toes and our ankles, so I want to get into a nice little deep stretch. I add this almost every yoga class because it's something we so deeply need. Now this can be really deep or it can be a little lighter. It's however you want. You can have a pillow or a blanket or a block if you'd like. You can stay right here, keeping the toes tucked under, all 10 toes. Toes are close together. If you want more, sit yourself up on your heels. You're gonna feel a really intense stretch through those toes. If you need a little less, you can put a blanket, pillow, or that block underneath your hips. It's gonna take a little pressure off from those toes. So keep going in this space. Sitting up, if you're sitting up nice and tall, we'll do some arm work just to keep our mind off of the toes. It'll start to build. Inhale, your arms open. On the exhale, eagle arms. Right arm's gonna go underneath the left. So cross your elbows. Maybe you just wanna go to here where the back of your palms are together. Or you can grab for opposite shoulders. Or double wrap all the way around and grab both palms together. As you're here, you can stay or start to lift the elbows in alignment with the shoulders. Whichever one of those 3 that you chose, no matter what, lift your shoulders up and feel that stretch in the back. Between your scapula along the thoracic spine, shoulder blades in the mid-back. If you want a little more, you can start to back bend slightly. Lifting the shoulders, or excuse me, the elbows up to the shoulders. Slowly come back down. Open the arms up. Bring your hands down. Go ahead and untuck those toes. Tap the tops of your feet. You're gonna feel a nice flush of blood go through your lower extremity there. Roll out your ankles. And we're gonna do a little opposite stretch. So tops of the feet are now on the mat. Sit your hips back to your heels. You can stay here. That might feel good as a stretch if you have ankle issues. If you want a little more, lean back onto your palms. If you want to do even more, lift your knees up. Get a couple cracks maybe in your ankles. If you want to work on some balance, bring your arms out in front of you as you balance with the tops of the knees. Again, multiple options and layers you can go into, so do what works for you. Remember to breathe. Pull your navel into your spine to balance. Feel that stretch. Good. Bring your hands back if they're up. Slowly bring the knees down. Walk yourself back forward to all fours. We're going to do that another round. I know you loved it so much the first time. We're going to do it again. Tuck those toes. And I want you to take note of how you feel on this round. Are you more tense? Are you less tense in your toes? Again, sit your hips back to your heels. All the way up. If you want, again, the pillow or blanket underneath the hips. Sitting here, we're going to move into the other side for eagle arms. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, this time left arm underneath the right. Remember your options, back of the palms. You can grab opposite shoulders, or you can wrap all the way around palm to palm. Bring your elbows in alignment with the shoulders. Take a breath in. Lift a little higher. Maybe you find that back bend. Continue working here. What we're doing is we're cutting off circulation to the toes. So the blood flow is stopping, and when we come out of that position, the blood's gonna all flush through very quickly. It's gonna up the circulatory system and flush out anything old and stagnant that's been sitting in your feet from not getting enough movement, or, like I said, if you have circulatory problems. Go ahead and on your next breath, unwind your arms, open up. And on your exhale, bring yourself forward, slowly untuck the toes, very intense. Tap the tops of those feet. Good, we'll go a little deeper here if you want the option. Same thing, tuck the feet down. You can stay here. You want to lean back, you're welcome. Or come all the way up. If you want more, this round, bring your hands down and tuck the knees up towards the nose. Keep the tops of the feet down. Breathe for 4, 3, 2. Come down gently on the 1. That's a really intense stretch. Bring yourself forward slowly. Now roll out your ankles. Good. Wonderful job, guys. Go ahead and come up standing on the knees. So the tops of the feet can be on the mat. You're going to take your right leg out to the side. Inhale your arms up. Now sitting here nice and tall, your foot's flat and parallel with the side of your mat. Take your right hand and slide it down the leg. We don't want to put pressure on that knee, just use it as kind of a tool to slide down. And then take that left arm and really reach for the side wall. You might be able to go super deep here and really reach, or you might be up here and just slightly bend. Find what works. Wherever you are, we tend to roll forward in our shoulders and slouch. Make sure you're rolling open. Maybe you gaze up to the left toward the ceiling so you're past the armpit and you can see past the arm. Good, come back up through center. Bring your hands in front of you and that leg, start to really work it out to the side. So you're doing a half split, lateral half split. Now your back foot, your knee is still bent and you're just doing a nice little split here. Your other foot is still flat on the floor. If you want a little more, you can come down to your palm or to your arms, your forearms. I'm going to show you from the side because I want to make sure with your knee, or excuse me, your hips. People might be going like this. That's not going to get you anywhere. Make sure your hips are in alignment with your knee. That right leg is still going long. Left knee's bent. You got nice lateral single leg split. All right, slowly come up if you're on your arms. Bring that leg back in. Come to all fours and come back up. Moving into the other side. Bend the left leg, bring it out. Notice my foot's parallel with the side of the mat. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring your arm up, right arm up. Left arm can slide down, but remember, we're not putting pressure and weight. We don't want to put pressure on the joints. Another thing to do is ignite your kneecap and lift it toward the ceiling. It's going to ignite the quad. As you reach over, reach toward that side wall, you're feeling this nice stretch right through that right side body. Lifting, lifting, reaching, reaching. See how far you can go. Inhale, come back through center. On your exhale, bring your hands down, same thing. We're gonna work that leg out. This knee is still bent. You can flex that right foot to protect the knee. So that leg is long, the right knee's bent. If you want more, come to your forearms. And remember, keep your hips in alignment with your knees. You shouldn't be shifted too far forward with your hips. You're feeling a nice inner thigh lateral stretch here. Take one more breath. Good, come back up if you're down. Slide that leg back in. Coming to all fours. Good. Go ahead and sit your hips back onto your knees. Bring your legs forward. Take your knees and collapse them in toward each other and go left to right. And do a little windshield wiper. Just taking a little pressure off those hip joints after that opening we just did. Good. Go ahead and cross your legs, come back through to all fours. Moving into our first down dog, tuck your toes. Make sure again, once we're in this position of shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees, if you press up to a down dog from here, you're gonna have a perfect little down dog. People sometimes aren't sure how much space to have between hands and feet. Press your hips up and back. Heels melting toward the mat. Palms are nice and wide. Shoulders and wrists are the same distance apart. Feet and hips, same distance apart. Pedal one heel down, then the other. Another thing people tend to do is try and look forward. Let your head hang and let gravity pull on you. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Get that nice opening in the back of the legs. Good. On your next inhale, take the right leg high. Then open up that hip and bend the knee. Give yourself a little opening in your hip. Maybe you do a couple circles. If this is too much for any reason, you can always drop down to the left knee and do circles like this. So find a layer that works for you, depending on how deep you want to be. Roll out the ankle, bring the right leg back down. Same thing, other side, inhale, left leg goes high. Open up, bend the knee, roll out the ankle, do some hip circles. Option to come down to the right knee and do them from the ground. Good. Bring your left foot down. We're going to slowly gaze forward here. Walk yourself forward. As you do this, if you want a little more of a hamstring opener, try and heel toe your way forward towards your hands. Or if you need, bend the knees and walk forward. So think of getting your legs straight, heel toe forward. Meet me in a forward fold ragdoll pose. In this position, your feet are hips width distance apart. Arms are hanging heavy, head's hanging heavy. Waver left to right. Shake your head, yes and no, left to right. If you want a little shoulder opener, clasp your hands behind the low back. Have a slight bend in the knees. Then let those arms just fall over the nape of the neck. Feel that nice shoulder opener. Try not to strain the neck by looking forward, just let the head hang. Good, waver left to right. Relax the palms, let them hang back under. Let them down there. If you want, you can grab opposite elbows here and let the head hang. Moving into Gorilla Pose, Padangusthasana. Take your palms and slide them under the bottoms of your feet. You want a deep bend in your knees here so they go under. If that's not accessible, Grab with your toes on your fingers. So see what works for you. What you're trying to do here is get the balls of your feet in your palms. The toes are touching the backs of your wrists and you're massaging. So kind of roll it back and forth, forward and back. But if you go too far forward, you will be somersaulting and there's nothing you can do to stop it. All right, good. Now, if you want a little more, go ahead and start to straighten one leg and bend the other. Let your head hang. Feel that nice opener, your IT band, which runs the outside of your thigh down to your knee, along with your hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Good, bend both knees. Go to the other side, straighten one, and bend the opposite. This is deep. Again, only go as far as you can. Bend both knees. Now, if you want to do, straighten both legs and pull your forehead towards your shins. If that's too much, just keep those knees bent and continue to pull yourself forward and down. Elbows are bent like gorilla arms. Good. Slowly come out of that. Release your hands out from under your feet. Bring your big toes to touch. Heels are still apart slightly. We're going to slowly roll ourselves up, one vertebrae at a time. I'll count it off. Let your arms hang, and I'll let you know. When we start, make sure your head's the last thing to come up. Begin to roll up for 4. Let the arms dangle heavy for 3. All the way there for 2. Shoulders down and back on the 1. Head comes up. Finding our mountain pose. Mountain pose, Tadasana. When you do mountain pose, think of sitting up nice and tall. Big toes are touching, palms are by the sides. Palms face forward. Think of your thumbs rolling backwards and your pinkies rolling forwards. Pinch the shoulder blades together slightly. Bring your chin in towards your chest. Think of the head pulling toward the ceiling, tailbone tucking in and under. Think of the navel pulling into the spine. Go through each toe mound and grind them into your mat so you're nice and stable. Maybe lean forward and back, just feeling stability in your body. A big thing also with mountain pose, people tend to just think, oh, I get to stand here and let my arms dangle. Think of sitting up tall and really use your posture here. We build strength in this pose. Now lift your kneecaps up and ignite your quads. Putting all that together, you're in a strong mountain pose. So if somebody came up and tried to push you over, you'd be strong in this position. Take a breath here. Exhale it out. On your next inhale, bring arms up overhead. Shoulders are dropping down and back. Good. On the exhale, same thing we did earlier. Bring your right arm down and lean over to your right. Reach for that right side wall. Kind of what we did on our knees earlier with the kneeling. We're really opening up that side body. It's a hot half moon. Again, if you want to gaze up toward the ceiling, don't allow yourself to roll forward. If you're rolling forward, come up a little bit. Gaze past that bicep. If you want a little more, slowly roll your hand down your thigh. Feel that opening and reach for that side wall. Make everything active. On your next inhale, use those obliques, come up. Exhale, reach over to the left. Reach with the right arm, same thing. Again, gaze up past the bicep. Make sure we're not rolling forward. Roll nice and open, chest is shining forward. You're almost pushing those right hips toward the right side wall as you reach with your hand to the left. Feel the opening. Inhale, come back through center. And on the exhale, find a back bend. Bring your hands to your low back. Press the hips forward and start to find a back bend. Squeeze the elbows together. Your hands are on that low, flat part of your back. That's your sacrum. Pushing the hips forward. And let your head fall back, maybe. Maybe you get a little pop there, like I just did. Should feel good. Make sure you're allowing your front of your body to open. Inhale, come back through center. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Arms come up, forward fold, halfway pause. Hold your arms out to the side, like you're teeing your arms, like airplane. Go ahead and bring yourself forward just a little bit and weight goes into the toes and balls of feet like you're looking over a cliff. Nice 7 with your body. So you're making a good, perfect alignment here. Take one more breath. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, halfway lift, bring your hands to your shins or let them hang underneath your shoulders. Another flat back here. On your exhale, plant your palms, step yourself back to a high plank and hold. Option for high plank, bring your knees to the mat. Make sure when you bring your knees to the mat, we're not shifting ourselves back. We're still keeping that forward motion. So your shoulders stay over the wrists. If you're in that plank pose, shift yourself forward 1 inch. Feel that change. Take a breath. We're holding steady. Think of pulling your navel to your spine. Good, you've got this for 4. Dig your fingers into your mat for 3. Lift yourself up toward the ceiling for 2. Take weight out of the wrists. And on the 1, come all the way down to your belly and rest. Good. Untuck the toes. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Bring your hands right underneath the shoulders. Breathe all the air out. On your next inhale, move into Cobra Pose. Lift your body up. Now, when you're here, your hands are not on the mat. Slowly lift them. That's going to make you use your back muscles. Gaze is down to protect the neck. Press the tops of your feet in your mat. Big breath in. For 4, stay lifting for 3. Lift 1 inch higher for 2. And on the 1, relax. Bring your right cheek to the mat. Hands by the sides. Bend both knees. Windshield wiper your feet left to right. Feel the low back release. Good. Bring your tops of your feet back down to the mat. Bring your arms out to the sides to a T. Moving into a locust pose. Exhale all the air out of your body. On your next inhale, press your tops of your feet into your mat and just lift the top of your body. So your torso's lifting, gaze is down to start. Really lift, lift, lift. Press the tops of your feet. You're here for 4. Use those back muscles for 3. 1 inch higher for 2. On the 1, relax your arms, left cheek to the mat. Resting there for a moment. Bend the knees, windshield wiper the legs. Good. Bring the tops of your feet back to the mat. Bring your arms back out to the sides. Take a breath out. This time on your next inhale, clasp your hands together. And lift your body up, pull the hands down, lift the legs this time. Everything's lifting but your torso. Gaze is down, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the thighs together. For 4, lift everything higher. For 3, see how high you can go. 2, exhale down on the 1, right cheek to the mat, relax. Good. Bend the knees, windshield wiper. Keeping the low back happy. Good. Got one more for you on your belly, giving your back some nice strengthening work today. Keep the knees bent this time. Bring your chin to the mat. You're going to grab both ankles. Maybe you stay right here. Go ahead and release the air out of your body. On your next inhale, kick your tops of your feet or your ankles into your hands and lift yourself up for bow pose. Good. Squeeze your knees together for 4. Lift a little higher for 3. Try and get your thighs off the mat for 2. And 1, release, arms by the side, left cheek to the mat, relax. This is where you can bend those knees, windshield wiper the legs. Good. Bring the tops of your feet back down to the mat. Hands back underneath the shoulders. Slide them out so you're on your forearms for Sphinx Pose. Sphinx Pose, our chest is elevated, hips are down, tops of the feet on the mat. Feet are separated slightly. And then kind of pull yourself forward. Just like pulling through the hands, you're not lifting. Just feel your chest pull. And you're activating your palms, grasping into your mat. If you want more of a back bend and your back is happy with it, push yourself, put your palms underneath your shoulders, press yourself up. Now, if you're here, make sure your feet are pressing in the mat, hips are down. And again, shoulders and chest, shoulders are back, chest is pulling through. Maybe you let your head fall back. Good, come back down to Sphinx pose. Stay here for a moment. Kick your left heel towards your glute. This is where we're getting a nice little twist. Reach your left hand back towards your foot. If you want more, you can come onto your hands where we were and do a deeper stretch. So you can be in Sphinx or you can be on your palms. Then just start to press that heel down. This should be a nice opener on the front of your thighs through the quads. Your hip flexors that run all the way through the front of the body down through your thighs. Twisting gently. Press, press, press. And again, you don't have to be in this deep of a pose. You can be back here with your hand and you can be on your forearm. Go ahead and relax that foot down. Come back down if you weren't already. Starting your Sphinx. Kick the right heel, build yourself up. Reach back for that right foot. Maybe you stay here. Pull your foot down. Or come on up to that left palm and reach back. Twist open and press. Again, your hip flexors should really be opening here. These get super tight for those of you that run or if you sit all day. Good, go ahead and relax that back down. Tuck your toes, press yourself back, find a child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees go wide. Sit your hips to your heels, reach your arms forward, bring your forehead to the mat. Relax here for a moment, take 2 breaths. This is where you'll feel the low back release after those twists and those back bends we just did. Allow your back to release and open. Good, slowly you can walk yourself up. Bring your knees together, walk forward and meet me in all fours. Remember all fours, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tuck the toes, press the hips high, meet me in down dog. This should also feel good in the back after the intensity we just did. Pedal your heels, see if you're feeling a little more open in this down dog. On your next inhale, right leg goes high. Exhale, bring your right foot to the outside of the right hand. You're in a low lunge, runner's lunge, but your foot's not between, it's on the outside, so both hands are stacked next to each other. Notice my knee is 90 degrees. Holding here, try and let your hips start to melt down toward the mat. Let gravity pull on you. Drop your back knee down. You can untuck the toes. If you need a blanket under your knees or a pillow, that's perfectly fine. That'll help protect you. Stay right here. And notice some of you might be up here. Your hips don't want to drop. That's okay. But if you can, try to shift forward and let gravity take its course by magnetizing your hips to your mat. Really let yourself sink in. If you want more depth, you can come to your forearms. This is also where you could put pillows or blocks if you need a little extra lift off the floor. And if you want even more, bring your chest down to your mat. Forehead down and relax. Make sure you're keeping the 90-degree bend and your foot is flat on the mat here. Top of your foot, hip flexors are working on the left side, opening of the inner thigh on the right. Now, go ahead and twist open slightly towards your right and press your right knee away. And let the knife edge side of your right foot come up so your foot's coming on its side. Twist back and open. This is a nice hip opener, a little twist in the low back. You can stay here. You might be where we first started. That's completely fine. I'm just giving options for all levels. If you want more, kick that left heel up and start to pull it in towards your glute. You can be on your palm, you can be on your forearm. So you're twisting toward the right, the left heel is in, right hand has the top of that left foot. It's all just step-by-step building. This is also where you could use a strap if you can't reach your foot, or a belt. Allow yourself to go to your level. Push yourself, but not too far. We want to feel change, but we don't want to feel pain. Good, release that foot down, untwist, come back to your palms to start. Go ahead and sit your hips back to your heel, straighten your front leg. So this is also where we could have blocks. So you can have blocks on either side of your foot here, or just one. You might not be able to straighten, you might be here, and that's completely fine as well. If you can straighten, this is a seated half split. And then think of your hips being squared off. So we want to pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Your right foot might be slightly off. Pull it to the center slightly. We want to make sure everything's square. If you want more, forward fold over your shin. Breathe. And if full splits is in your practice, or you want to work on your full splits, go ahead, if it is, move into your full splits. If you want to work on it, slowly shift yourself forward. Again, you can have that bend in the knee. We're just working on making that new opening between the legs here. Shift yourself forward, untuck the back toes. This is where you could use a block and set it underneath your hips and open, and try and sit up here. This is a great space to be if you're working toward it. Make sure your hips are squared off. Right hip's pulling back, left hip's pulling forward. They want to open like this, try and pull them back. If you want to keep going down, there's different layers of your blocks. You can keep going and working that way. If you don't own blocks and you're working on flexibility, I highly suggest buying them. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. If you're all the way down, you can fold yourself forward. Yoga blocks are good for all levels. So don't think that if you are advanced, you don't need yoga blocks. I use them constantly. There's always a new level to go to. Now, if you're all the way in full splits, walk yourself up. Lift up, slowly bend that front knee. Come back to where we started, into your half split. And then bring your foot back, come to all fours. Good. Once you're in your all fours, tuck those toes, hips up high, down dog. Pedal the heels down. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Inhale the left leg high. And exhale, low lunge. Runner's lunge here, your foot's on the outside of your hands. So as you're here, notice the 90-degree bend and the knee is straight over the ankle. Once you're in that position, drop the back knee down. You can untuck the toes if it's comfortable. You might stay here. Maybe you want a block or pillow to be on. You can come to your forearms on the block or all the way down. Or you can bring your chin and chest down, your forehead down. Work your way through this nice deep stretch. Try and keep your foot flat for now. We'll open it up here in just a second. Multiple layers. And again, if you're up here and your hips don't want to shift, that's okay. Still try and do the best you can and just feel gravity pulling on you. You got to start somewhere and work your way through. Now, if you want to take that opener, twist open to your left, push that left knee away. Knife edge side of the foot is down the mat. So your bottom of your foot's facing you, and just twist a little here. Again, you can be on your palms, or on your forearm, or on block still. You're gazing over that left shoulder. If you want that extra stretch, start to kick the right heel forward towards your left hand. So opposite hand to opposite foot, twisting towards the bent knee. And pull it in. As you pull that heel in, make sure we're letting those hips melt toward the mat. This is your advanced posture here. Again, you can use the strap on the top of the foot if you need or want. Slowly release that foot. Try not to let it snap down. Use control. We're going to move into a split. So use your tools that you have. Bring yourself back up. Bring your hands to either side of your foot. Move your foot in center line. You can tuck your back toes if you want. Now you might be bent here. That's fine. You stay there. The more you straighten and bring your toes toward your face, the deeper the stretch. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring your nose towards your knee. Feel that opening first. If you're working towards splits, we're opening slowly. If you want to head into a full split, go for it. If you're working toward that split, grab your pillows, your books, your clock, whatever you have, and begin to shift yourself forward and rest yourself on the block. Untuck the back toes if you can. You can sit up here. Think of pulling your left hip back, right hip forward. Feel that nice stretch and opener. You can go down another level of the block, working your way. Eventually, you can get to no block. Flex your front foot. Maybe you fold yourself forward. Take deep breaths in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Find yourself with another breath or two before we come out. And when you feel ready, sit yourself up. If you're in a full split, lift up, bend the front knee. Come through your half split first. And then tuck all the way back, coming to all fours. Good. Once you're in all fours, tuck the toes, hips go high. Good. Pedal out each heel. Inhale and exhale. Slowly walk your feet towards the top of your mat. Find yourself in a forward fold. We're going to slowly roll up. Let your head hang heavy, arms hang heavy. Slowly rolling up for 4. Let the head be the last thing to come up for 3. Coming all the way up for 2. Roll shoulders down and back on the 1. Gazes forward, mountain pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Inhale your arms up overhead. On the exhale, reach over for that hot half moon. Right hand goes down the right side. Left hand's reaching. Inhale through center. Exhale over to the left. Just moving along a little quicker here. Inhale through center. And then on the exhale, find your back bend. Bring your hands to the low back. Press your hips forward. Open up that front body. So we press our hips first and then elongate the abdominal muscles. Hip flexors open and lean back. Try and start with your knees with a slight bend. And eventually you'll need to bend them a little deeper the deeper your back bend goes. Inhale, come back through center. Arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Your hands can be to your shins or hang under your shoulders. Find a flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank, and hold. We've been here before, right? Options, drop to the knees. Make sure you're shifted forward. So if you're on all 4, or if you're on your knees up, shift yourself forward 1 inch. We're here for 4. Feel your body lifting to the ceiling. Use your strength for 3. Navel's pulling into your spine for 2. And on the 1, lower yourself down. You can drop the knees if you need. Come to your belly. Untuck the toes. And bring your forehead to the mat. Press your palms underneath of your shoulders. Inhale, press up. Up dog with your legs down. So technically it's a seal pose. If this is too much, come back to your forearms for Sphinx. On the exhale, come back to your belly. Bring your forehead back down. Next, inhale, press yourself back up. Feel those nice back bends. Press the tops of your feet onto the mat. Exhale, bring it back down. 2 more. Inhale, press yourself up. Open, open, open. Exhale down. One more. Inhale, press up. Hold here for just a minute. If you want more, bend your knees and bring your forehead to the ceiling. And exhale, tops your feet to the mat. Push your hips back, child's pose, big toes to touch, knees go wide, forehead down, arms reach long. Massage your forehead, maybe you massage it left to right. Good. Shift yourself back forward to all fours. We're going to move into Camel Pose. We've been kind of setting our spine up for Camel Pose, so I'm going to give you lots of options. If you don't know what camel is, it's a bit of a back bend, but you can make it as deep as you like. Your option is to have a block if you want. You can set it behind you, between your legs, between your feet, or you can just leave your hands to the low back. So sit up nice and tall. You can tuck the toes if you want a little more structure and something to hold on to. Bring your hands to your low back, squeeze the elbows like we did for our back bend earlier. And you're gonna push the hips forward. And this is Camel Pose, start to lean back. Now the layers that can go with Camel Pose are almost endless. You can keep going. If you want more, bring your hands to your heels or to the yoga block. Let your head fall back. Now before you let your head fall back, the trick is if you can see the crease where the ceiling meets the wall, then that means you can let the head really fall and give yourself that full back bend. Camel Pose restricts, puts a little bit of restriction on the neck. We're pressing into our thyroid. So if you have thyroid issues, it's a great pose. You'll feel that kind of constriction in your neck. If you want more, bring your hands to the mat and really feel that back bend. Now, when you come out of camel, be sure to bring your hands to your low back first. Press yourself forward. Bring your hands down to all fours. Tuck the toes. Down dog, meet me here. Feel that release in the back. If down dog's too much, you can do child's pose where we just were. Big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Bring your knees back down. Moving into Hero's Pose. Hero's Pose, another one we've been working our way towards. These are kind of our peak poses. Your knees are going to be together. Then take your feet on each side of your hips. If you have knee problems, you're going to be sitting between your heels. If you have knee problems, this is where a block, pillow, or cushion will come in handy. It'll take pressure off the knees. So heroes can be here. You can be between. Just make sure your knees are staying together and squeezing. Keep those heels squeezing by your thighs so you're sitting between them. If you want more, bring your hands back. If you want more, come to your forearms. And if you want to go all the way down, come all the way onto your back. And then bring your arms up overhead, grab opposite elbows. If your knees are falling apart, don't go all the way down. Your knees should be squeezing together. It's protecting the knees. Then if you want, the final expression is to lift the hips toward the ceiling and feel those hip flexors ignite. So you're lifting your hips off, but make sure the knees are squeezing together. Breathe here. Good. Slowly come down. If you're lifting, bring your arms back. Grab onto your heels. Push your elbows into the floor. And then put your palms. Come all the way back forward. Come to all fours. Tuck the tail, tuck the toes, hips go high. Find that down dog. Again, what we did there, we cut off blood circulation below the knees. So you should feel a nice flush of blood go through your lower legs, down to your toes. Again, very good for your circulation, getting the blood flowing. When we constrict a certain area and then allow the blood to flow through, it flushes out the old stale. Good. Go ahead and drop your knees back down to all fours. Sit your hips back. Bring your legs out in front. Good. We're going to take our legs wide. And flex your toes. Sitting up tall here. You might feel a good enough stretch right where you are. If you want more, make sure your toes are staying flexed. Pinky toes are rolling toward the back of the room. And walk yourself forward. I always say this in my class. I'm going to show you from the side. People tend to do this when they're stretching. They want to reach. So what do? They arch their spine back. They pull their stomach in and they go like this. This does absolutely nothing. I give you a little back stretch, but you're straining the neck. It's not what we're working on. So think of yourself pulling forward with your chest first. So your chest is coming forward. Now you can have a pillow or a block or a blanket. And then you can come to your forearms. Now some of you might be able to come all the way down for a flat pancake pose. But if you are, these toes should be staying flexed. Your hips should be staying on the floor. They shouldn't be lifting off. We've been setting up for all these deep stretch poses throughout class to see how deep you can actually get. But remember, chest first. Once your chest is there, then your head can relax. If you're up here, that's fine. Just work yourself with your hands first and think of your chest leading the way. And then you slowly continue to walk yourself out. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And walk yourself up if you're down. Slide your legs together. Good, moving into staff pose, a front forward fold. Feet are together, flex the toes. If you're working on flexibility, and you're super flexible already, you might want to block to go deeper. If you can't touch your toes here, that's completely fine. I want you to work the same way we just did. I don't want you to go like this to try and reach. I want you to sit up tall and press the chest first. Now, if you can't reach your toes, fine. Bend the knees and then reach. And where you go from here is you start to slowly walk the heels away as you come forward with it. But remember, we're not straining. Chest is towards the thighs. Good. Now, if you want more, bring that block behind your feet and pull yourself forward. The other option is if you have a block or a strap, wrap that between the feet or behind the feet and pull yourself. Notice chest first. Once your thighs are to your, once your chest is to your thighs, that's when you can let the head rest. Keep flexing the toes. That's where you're going to get a deeper stretch. Toes should always be flexed. Take 2 more breaths. And good, we're gonna start to walk ourselves up if we're down. Move your blocks and straps or anything that's in the way out of the way. Bend your knees. Now we're gonna arch the chest forward or back, arch the spine, bring the arms by the sides, and slowly roll down. Keep the knees bent onto your back, 1 vertebrae at a time. Let your head be the last thing. Keep your chin tucked. Slow, slow, slow. And your head comes down, arms by the sides. Go ahead and pull both knees in. And you can grab for the up front or for the front of your shins or knees, or if you can't reach, go behind the thighs. Pull your knees apart and towards your armpits. Got a nice little opener. You can roll out your ankles here. Keep your right knee squeezing in, let the left leg go long. Squeeze that right knee in. Take a breath. And on the exhale, find a supine twist. Take the right knee over to the left side body. What you want to concentrate on here is not getting your knee to touch the ground. It's keeping the right shoulder down. If you can keep your right shoulder down and the knee touches, that's fine. You're kind of up on your left hip. You're getting a nice deep supine twist. If your shoulder's coming up, lift your knee. We want to keep the twist in the back. If you have back problems and you don't like twists, just go slightly or just keep hugging the right knee in on flat on your back. Take 1 more deep breath here. Good. Come back through center. Hug that right knee in. Keep your back of your head down. Bring both knees in. Right leg, excuse me, now goes long. Hug the left knee into your armpit. Roll out the ankle if you'd like. Supine twist. Left knee comes over to the right side. Roll open, supine twist. Left shoulders down. Gaze over to your left. Breathe. Same thing on this side. Make sure the left shoulder's down. Good. Release. Come back through center. On flat to your back. Both knees come in. Happy baby pose. Always a good way to end class. Bring your hands to the bottoms of your feet or your ankles or the back of the knees. As you grab, pull down. Try and keep your tailbone rolling toward the mat. We don't want to be up. We want to pull the tailbone down. Keep the back of your head on the mat. Don't strain your neck. Rock left to right. Massage the low back after all those twists and back bends. Should feel good. Maybe you straighten one leg then the other. Release your feet. Squeeze your knees in. Bring your forehead to the knees. Squeeze yourself into a tight little ball. Big breath in. And exhale into Shavasana Pose. This is your most important pose of class. Resting on your back. Let your feet fall open. Let your hands relax by your sides, palms face up as the fingers gently curl. Scanning over your body and take note of how you feel now compared to how you started class. Unclench the jaw, release the tongue. I'll bring you back in just 2 minutes. Give yourself this moment to let your body absorb the work you put in. Of course, always welcome to stay in Shavasana. Continue to relax the body. If you're ready to begin moving, roll out your wrists and your ankles. Massage the back of your head left to right, bringing awareness back to the body. Bring your arms up overhead and stretch, reaching your arms and your legs apart in opposition. Bringing awareness into our body, into our mind, coming back to the moment. When you're ready, go into the fetal position, rolling on to your left or right side. Rest your cheek to your bicep. Take one more breath there. Fetal position is a safe space, a comforting space to relax and release. And once you're ready, keep your eyes closed and meet me in a seated position. Palms pressed together at heart center. Thinking over of your practice and the intention you might have set at the beginning of class. Were you present in your body, present in your mind? Were you able to connect in movement? Be grateful for yourself and all those that showed up today. Thumbs come to third eye center, the space between the eyebrows. A space of intuition, a space of open-mindedness. Open-minded with ourselves, and open-minded to one another. Bowing forward. Namaste.